Welcome to English Compass. Have you ever noticed this? You understand English, you study grammar, you memorize vocabulary, but when someone asks you a simple question, your brain freezes, you start translating, word by word, sentence by sentence. And by the time you are ready to speak, the conversation has already moved on. If this sounds familiar, you are not alone. This is called the translation trap, and it is the single biggest wall between you and real fluency. 3 years ago, I hit that wall hard. I had studied English for over 8 years. I could read articles, I could pass exams. But in real life, I felt slow. I felt stuck. I felt like I was always one step behind. Then I made a simple decision, a strange decision, a decision that changed everything. For 30 days, I refused to translate in my head, not even once. I forced my brain to think in English. It was uncomfortable. It was exhausting. And some days, I wanted to quit. But on day 30, something incredible happened. English stopped feeling like a foreign language. It started feeling like a room I finally knew how to walk into. Today, I will share that journey with you, day by day, mistake by mistake, breakthrough by breakthrough. This is not a magic trick, this is a mental rewiring. And if you follow along, you will see exactly how your brain learns to speak without translating. Before we begin, take a deep breath. Repeat after me. I do not need to translate. I can think in English. Good. Let's begin. Let's be honest. Most of us learn English like a math problem. We see a word in our native language. We look for the English equivalent. We build the sentence piece by piece. And subject, verb, object, preposition. Done. But real conversation does not work like a math problem. Real conversation moves fast. It flows. It reacts. When you translate, you add a delay. A half second, 1 second, 2 seconds. In speaking, 2 seconds feels like an hour. On day 1 of my 30-day experiment, I sat at my kitchen table with a notebook. I wrote one rule at the top. No translation, only English. It sounded simple. It was not. I looked at my coffee cup. In my mind, I wanted to say the word in my language first, then find the English word. But I stopped myself. I forced my brain to skip the middle step. I looked at the cup and simply thought, coffee, hot, morning, I need it. It felt childish. It felt broken. But it was English, direct English. I walked outside. I saw a dog. Instead of thinking of the word in my language and then switching, I thought, brown dog, fast tail, happy eyes. I went to the store. I stood in line. I practiced silent sentences in my head. The line is long. The cashier looks tired. I hope they open another register. By the end of day 1, my brain felt heavy, like a muscle that had never been used was suddenly lifting weights. I had a headache. I was frustrated, but I also felt something new, a tiny spark, the spark of direct connection. Let's pause for a moment. Listen to these 3 words from today's story. Translation trap, the habit of switching languages in your head before speaking. Rewiring, changing the way your brain works by creating new habits. Direct connection, linking thoughts to English without using your native language as a bridge. Repeat after me. Translation trap. Rewiring. Direct connection. Good. You will hear these again. Keep them in mind. Days 2 through 7 were the hardest. Why? Because your brain loves shortcuts. And translation is the biggest shortcut of all. When you remove it, your brain protests. It says, this is inefficient, this is slow, go back to what works. But here is the truth. Translation only feels efficient because it is familiar. It is not actually fast, it is just comfortable. During those first 6 days, I built 3 simple habits. If you want to think in English, you need them too. Habit 1. Label your world. Every time I walked into a new room, I named 5 things in English. Not their names, their actions, their purpose. Instead of thinking, table, chair, lamp, I thought, table holds my laptop, Chair supports my back. Lamp pushes back the dark. This forced my brain to use verbs, and verbs are the engine of fluency. Habit 2. Narrate your life. I started speaking to myself in English, quietly, in my head. While cooking, I thought, chopping onions, tears in my eyes, adding oil, waiting for the heat. While walking, I thought, cold wind, fast steps, late for meeting, need to hurry. It felt strange at first, like talking to a shadow, but shadows listen, and your brain listens too. Habit 3. Accept broken English. This was the most important. I stopped correcting every mistake in my head. I let sentences be imperfect. I thought, I go store yesterday, buy milk, forget bread. Instead of stopping to fix it, I let it pass. Why? Because fluency is not about perfection. Fluency is about flow. You can fix grammar later. You cannot fix silence. By day 7, something shifted. The heavy feeling in my head began to fade. I caught myself thinking in English without trying. I saw rain outside and thought, grey sky, wet streets, good day for tea. No translation, no delay, just thought. Notice the sentences I used. Short, active, present, or simple past. When you are training your brain to think in English, start with simple structures. Instead of, I was wondering if perhaps I should consider going to the market later today. Think, market, later, need milk, I will go. Simple does not mean weak, simple means clear, and clear thoughts become clear speech. Repeat after me. Simple thoughts, clear speech, flow before perfection. If day 1 was resistance and days 2 to 7 were effort, days 8 to 14 were surprise. On day 9, I woke up from a dream, and I realized the dream was in English. Not perfect English, but English. I was walking through a city. Someone asked me for directions. I answered, in English, while sleeping. That moment changed everything. It proved my brain was no longer just storing English. It was using English, naturally, without permission. During these days, I introduced a new technique. I call it pause and picture. When I struggled to find a word, I did not reach for my native language. I closed my eyes. I pictured the thing. I pictured the action. I let the English word rise from the image. For example, I could not remember the word for umbrella. In the past, I would have translated. Now I paused. I pictured rain. I pictured hands holding something curved. I pictured water bouncing off fabric. And then the word appeared, umbrella. It took longer at first, but it trained my brain to link meaning directly to English. Not to my mother tongue, to meaning. I also started reading short articles out loud, not to practice pronunciation, to practice rhythm. English has a musical pattern, stress, pause, flow. When you read silently, you miss the music. When you read aloud, your ears learn the beat. Your mouth learns the steps. Your brain learns the dance. Listen carefully. Repeat exactly after me. Match the rhythm. The sky is clear. The air is cool. I take a deep breath. I feel awake. Today is mine. Again, slower. The sky is clear. The air is cool. I take a deep breath. I feel awake. Today is mine. Good. Keep this rhythm in your body. Thinking in English is not just mental, it is physical. By day 14, conversations felt different. I was not preparing answers in my head anymore. I was reacting, listening, responding. The gap between hearing and speaking shrank. It felt like standing on solid ground after walking on water for months. Let's lock in 3 new words. Rhythm. The natural pattern of sounds and pauses in a language. React. To respond quickly without long preparation. Solid ground. A feeling of stability and confidence. Repeat after me. Rhythm. React. Solid ground. You are building your own ground, step by step. Here is a secret most teachers do not tell you. Native speakers do not think in single words, they think in chunks. A chunk is a group of words that naturally belong together. Not, I am going to the store, but I'm heading out. Gonna grab some milk. Be right back. When you learn to think in chunks, your brain stops building sentences from scratch. It pulls ready-made pieces. This is how fluency feels effortless. During days 15 to 21, I focused entirely on chunk training. I listened to podcasts. I paused. I repeated phrases, not words. I wrote down natural combinations. Actually, I think, to be honest, that makes sense. I'm not sure, but let me see. I used these in my silent narration. I replaced stiff sentences with living phrases. My thoughts became smoother. My internal voice sounded more like a real conversation. I also started predicting conversations. Before meeting a friend, I imagined 3 possible topics. I prepared chunk responses, not full scripts, just natural openings. How was your weekend? Pretty good. Kept it simple. Did you finish the project? Almost there. Just need a few hours. What do you think? I'm leaning toward yes, but let's check the details. Prediction reduces panic. Panic causes translation. Translation breaks flow. Chunk thinking stops the cycle. Notice how many chunks use contractions and informal connectors. I'm gonna, but let's, actually. These are not mistakes. They are markers of natural speech. In formal writing, you avoid them. In real thinking, you need them. Your brain must recognize them as normal, not lazy, natural. Pause the video now, look around you, say 3 chunks out loud. Example, looks like rain. Time to focus. Let's keep going. Say them again, feel how they roll off your tongue. This is how your brain will start storing English, in groups, not in lists. By day 21, I noticed a new habit. I was no longer counting days, I was just living in English. It was no longer an experiment, it was a lens, a way of seeing the world. The final stretch is where the magic settles in. Days 22 to 30 were not about effort anymore. They were about trust. Trust that my brain had learned the new path. Trust that English was no longer a guest. It was a resident. On day 25, I was in a cafe. A stranger asked me for a recommendation. A simple question. What's good here? Old me would have frozen, would have translated, would have overthought. New me smiled, paused for half a second, said, the coffee's strong, but the pastries are better. Try the almond croissant. It was not perfect. It was not formal. But it was fast. It was natural. It was mine. That moment proved the experiment worked. Fluency is not about knowing every word. Fluency is about knowing how to move when you don't. I also discovered something unexpected. My listening improved, dramatically. Why? Because when you think in English, your ears tune to English. You stop waiting for translation. You start catching meaning. You recognize rhythm. You predict structure. Listening becomes active, not passive. By day 30, I sat down and wrote a letter to my past self, the one who was stuck in the translation trap. I wrote, you were not slow. You were just taking the long road. Now you know the shortcut. It is not faster words. It is fewer steps. Think in English, speak in English, live in English. The language will meet you halfway. Take 3 seconds, close your eyes, breathe, ask yourself, what would I say if I stopped translating? Do not answer in your head. Whisper it out loud, in English, imperfect, real, yours. Good. That is your starting line. If you want to walk this path, here are the 5 rules that guided me. Write them down. Say them out loud. Make them yours. Rule 1. Start small, start now. Do not wait for perfect conditions. Think in English while brushing your teeth, while waiting for the bus, while making coffee. 5 minutes a day beats 2 hours once a week. Rule 2. Picture, don't translate. When you forget a word, see it, hear it, feel it. Let the image pull the English forward. Translation blocks the path. Images open it. Rule 3. Embrace the mess. Your first thoughts in English will be broken. That is good. Broken means alive. Perfect means frozen. Speak broken English until it becomes smooth. Rule 4. Train your ears daily. Listen to short clips, repeat phrases, match rhythm. Your mouth learns from your ears. Feed them real English, not textbook English, living English. Rule 5. Trust the process. Some days will feel like progress, some days will feel like steps backward. Both are normal. Fluency is not a straight line, it is a spiral. You return to the same point, but higher each time. Repeat these rules after me. Start small. Picture, don't translate. Embrace the mess. Train your ears. Trust the process. Say them again. Let them settle in your mind. 30 days. That is all it took to change the way I think. Not my vocabulary, not my grammar, my thinking. And when your thinking changes, your speaking follows. Your listening sharpens. Your confidence grows. English stops being a subject you study. It becomes a space you live in. You do not need permission to start. You do not need perfect materials. You only need one decision. Today, choose one moment, 5 minutes. Look around. Name your world. Narrate your steps. Accept the broken. Let it flow. If you are ready to begin your own 30-day journey, comment below. Day 1. I will think in English. I will reply to every comment. I will track your progress. This channel is not just a library of stories, it is a training ground, and you belong here. Subscribe to English Compass for more graded stories, listening practice, and real fluency strategies. Turn on notifications. Your next breakthrough is one story away. Before you go, repeat this final line with me. I do not translate. I think, I speak, I grow. See you tomorrow. Keep moving forward.